Do you really think all of your tax dollars go to just causes as an American citizen? Well, according to Reader's Digest in 2018, the US government spent a whopping $630,000 on social media traffic on sites like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why, you ask? Your guess is as good as mine, because according to Reader's Digest, less than 2% of the people that visited those pages liked, favorited, or did anything with any of their social media. This should make you more concerned about what the US government is really throwing your money at. After having a job for about 2 years now, I've calculated that the US government takes about 1/4 of your paycheck. Due to this, I researched what they were actually spending my money on, and if I supported these causes, and if they were intentionally good. What I found out made me quite angry. We're wasting on unnecessary matters, but through different means we can reroute them to benefit citizens, so we must demand the government must be clear about where our money is going and how it will help our society grow. Working and non-working US citizen is taxed every time they spend or earn money. Not all this money is going towards causes that are beneficial for American citizens. According to political commentator Richard Braun, about $1 trillion is wasted every single year. Have you ever heard about the unjust wars that we have and are currently fighting in the Middle East? We have spent about $6 trillion on Middle Eastern wars in the past 10 years, and over 7,000 US soldiers have lost their lives to various conflicts. Sure, everyone listening to this speech has been affected by the way their tax money is used, and they're upset about the way it's used. As Americans, we value the ideas of freedom and capitalism, but when our government is constantly burning the currency we sweat and bleed for every second of our lives, it gets really annoying to watch Uncle Sam take our cash and give it to stupid affairs. Every single year we give the helpless state of Israel tens of billions of dollars. For what, you might ask? Defense against Palestine and other majority Muslim countries. We spend about $135 billion on welfare to illegal immigrants who are not contributing to that number themselves at all. We spend about $754 billion on welfare for US citizens each year, which could probably decrease if we actually gave the money to people who really needed it and not just flat out people who say they need it. We spend about $618 billion on the military every year, the highest in the world, while China, the second highest military spender, spends only $171 billion. Not taking action and not having concern for what our money is used for just encourages the government to keep doing the same routine over and over and over again. For instance, the government might spend $3 billion on trimming bushes. No one really raises concern over this ludicrous amount of money being wasted, so they spend $3.1 billion on vacations for federal employees that are on administrative leave. Once again, this goes under the radar, so they spend over $65,000 on figuring out what bugs do near light bulbs. This pattern has been going on for a long time and there is no end in sight. However, there are multiple ways that the working US class citizens can hold our overlords responsible for ridiculous spending. It is going to take a lot of support, time, and ironically money, but we can do it if we all strive for this change together. By helping to change the way your money is used, we can help move society forward and benefit every American that pays taxes. There are millions of better ways to use our money than on ridiculous things. We can spend it cleaning up the public streets of America. We can support privately owned companies by giving them subsidies to help their businesses grow. We can clean up America's water supply, such as in Flint, Michigan. We could pay the teachers of America more so they are more motivated to teach the material that they need to teach their students. We can provide better welfare to America's sick people and veterans, such as pharmacies. We can defend our country with walls, or we can give farmers benefits so they can grow more crops. Our society could be so much better if we actually used our dollars to fund things that matter in our society. These examples were only a couple of things that we could do with our money. Matthew 22:21 says, Jesus said, "Render therefore unto Caesar things that are Caesar's, and unto God what is God's." What I'm trying to convey is that I'm not against taxes, and I do understand why they are necessary to run a successful country. We just need to vote in people who are fiscally responsible so that they can allocate our money to a just cause. For example, we are paying our taxes to a fiscally versed politician, John Doe. John Doe, using his intricate knowledge of problems that are plaguing America, uses our money to up the average high school teacher's salary. This teacher, seeing her increase in wages, not only feels obligated to, but morally obligated to, teach these students material better in order to make the future of America better. One of our students, having understood chemistry better because she took more time with him, goes on to become an intelligent doctor who finds a cure for leukemia. Since you understand that using our tax dollars for better things affects American citizens directly, don't you think we need a change? Imagine an America where every penny you have to fork over was used to better America in effective ways. Think about it. You make $80,000 a year. The government takes an average of 1/4 of your salary. That gives them $20,000 to spend how they use your $20,000 in order to provide medical service to veterans. It happens to be that your father fought in Vietnam. He has PTSD from the war and is in need of serious psychiatric attention. Since the government has provided money to veterans, he gets an A1 psychiatrist to evaluate and treat him. After battling with his mind for years, he is finally given peace by the treatment administered by the psychiatrist that was provided for him. Yes, he did lose a significant amount of money, but healing your father and potentially adding years to him is priceless. Or the money is distributed to various farmers who grow wheat and there is a world bread shortage years later. Having given them supplemental money to improve their production and equipment, America has stored enough wheat to last through this shortage. Once again, money is taken from Americans, but the ends justify the means. It might cost you a trip to Malta for the summer, but making sure America survives to the next generation is worth this price. This might sound socialist, but I am about one of the most pro-capitalist people you will ever meet. I have done my research over the years on unregulated capitalism, and I understand that we must give a portion to the government. America is one of, if not, the greatest country on the planet, but we can improve ourselves tenfold if we demand that we use our taxes effectively. As a very logical and fact-driven man, I understand that we must actually take physical action in order to make this plan work. Talking about it is one thing, but actually taking the steps to follow through with this plan is another thing. With a very large amount of U.S. tax dollars being allocated to very ineffective and blatantly dumb causes, we need to hold the U.S. government accountable for what they spend money on and push them to actually use them for good causes. But in this world, nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes. Benjamin Franklin. Since this quote has become more and more relevant over time, if taxes are inevitable, then we might as well use them to our advantage. We must force our governing body to use our money to benefit America and her citizens. I'm going to suggest a few ways that you can help the cause. Go to your local government and ask for a spreadsheet of all the things that they have used local taxes on the past fiscal year. Analyze this and show your community. If you feel like something needs to be changed, go to your local city hall and start a petition. This might sound like a big one, but organize a protest or march at your state capitol to show that this is a big issue to you and your fellow state inhabitants. Expose the government's wacky spending on everyone you can reach. Share articles on social media, hang signs at your local school or college, and tell your friends and family about how they are spending our money frivolously. These are just a few suggestions. There are hundreds of other ways you can change the current stigma of the U.S.'s use of its citizens' money. In today's political climate, there are very few things that the left and right can agree on. We must change America's tax laws. If they don't change, we must threaten to take physical action. This is a fight for America at the local, state, and national level. This is a fight for the future and structure of America as a whole. We will demand change, we will receive this change, and we will reap the benefits of our hard-earned money. As founding father Thomas Jefferson once said, to compel a man to furnish funds for the propagation of ideas he disbelieves and abhors is sinful and tyrannical.